Here is how money really works. Money without purpose is just paper. Why don't we learn about money in school? I realized I didn't actually know where my money went. I was bleeding slowly. The best budget is the one you actually use. Should I rent or should I buy? Let me break it down for you. Hey, welcome back to the podcast. If you're like me, you probably grew up hearing things like, save your money, don't waste it on coffee, or invest in your future. But no one ever sat us down and said, here is how money really works. Today, I'm not coming to you as a financial expert. I'm just someone who got curious. I dug into the books, the research, the stories of real people, and I realized something scary. Financial literacy is a language most of us were never taught, and yet it affects everything in our lives. So whether you're trying to pay off a loan or save for something big, or just finally understand what the hell a mutual fund is, you're in the right place. Let's get started. To start with, we have to look at why financially literacy matters. Let's start with a question. Why don't we learn about money in school? You see, I went through years of education. I learned how to write essays, even solve mathematical equations. But no one taught me how credit cards work, or what interest is, or how to save. And it turns out it's not just me. According to research from the World Bank and the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, only 1 in 3 adults globally is financially literate. 1 in 3. Imagine that. We live in a world where companies spend millions to get us to spend more, borrow more, and never question the system. And most of us, especially in our 20s and 30s, we just wing it until we can't. Let's end this part with this question. What is financial literacy? Financial literacy means understanding how money works. How to earn it, how to save it, how to invest it, how to protect it, and how to grow it. It's not about being rich, it's about being in control. So let's stop blaming ourselves and start asking, where are we right now financially? Which takes us to part 2 of this episode. Know where you are. There is a quote I love. You can't fix what you don't measure. Step 1 in any financial journey is awareness. Not budgeting yet, not investing yet, just looking. Now ask yourself, what's my yearly income after taxes? How much do I spend per month? What's my net worth, assets minus liabilities? If you are confused about these 3, let me break it down for you. The first thing you have to understand is net worth. Net worth is what you own minus what you owe. Think of it like this. If you sold everything you own and paid off all your debts, the money you'd have left is your net worth. If you want to look at it as a formula, net worth equals assets minus liabilities. The second term you have to understand is assets. Assets are things you own that have value. Example, cash in the bank, your house or land, a car you own, stocks or retirement accounts, jewelry, art, or even a portfolio business. A simple way to think of it, if you can sell it for money, it's probably an asset. The third part here is liabilities. Liabilities are things you owe, your debts or financial obligations. For example, student loans, car loan, mortgage, credit card debt, any unpaid bills. A simple way to think of it, if you have to pay it, it's a liability. Now let's go back to where we were. When I did this calculation, I was shocked. I realized I didn't actually know where my money went. I was bleeding slowly. Subscription fee here, a little delivery there, emotional spending after a rough day, all these shocked me. And I realized there is a power in seeing the numbers. They don't lie. I had a friend who made $60K a year but felt broke. Turns out he was spending $2,000 a month on things he couldn't even remember. That awareness changed everything. Once you know where you are, the next step is figuring out who you are when it comes to money. Which leaves us with part 3 of this episode, which is, what's your money personality? This one was fascinating to me. Research shows that how we behave with money is deeply tied to our personality and upbringing. Some of us are savers. We feel anxious when we spend. Some are spenders. We live for the moment. Some are avoiders. We don't even want to look at the bank account. No type is better than the other, by the way. But knowing your type helps you work with your habits, not against them. I used to beat myself up for not budgeting properly, but I realized I'm not a minimalist spender, but I avoid structure. So apps didn't work for me. What did? Automation did. Paying myself first. The term paying yourself first comes from the book The Richest Man in Babylon. It means before you pay bills, rent, or Netflix, save something for yourself. Even 10% of your income, automatically, not manually. Now let's talk about something that's holding many of us back, which is debt, which is part 4 of this episode. Understanding debt. Debt isn't just numbers. It's emotion, shame, stress. And yet, most of us have it. But there is a difference between good debt and bad debt. Good debt builds value. Like, for example, student loans if they pay off. Mortgages. Bad debt drags us down. For example, high-interest credit cards, payday loans. These are called bad debt. So how do we start digging out? 2 proven methods. The first one is Avalanche Method, and the second one is Snowball Method. Okay, let me break it for you so you can understand it. The first one, Avalanche Method, aka the highest interest first. What does this method mean? You pay off your debts starting with the one that has the highest interest rate, while making minimum payments on the rest. Okay, how it works. The first one, list out all your debts by interest rate, highest to the lowest. The second step, pay as much as you can toward the debt with the highest interest. Like, for example, a credit card with 25% APR. The third step, keep paying the minimum on all other debts. The fourth step, once the highest interest debt is gone, move to the next highest. Let me give you an example. Let's say you have 3 types of debts. The first one is credit card, the second one is car loan, the third is student loan. The credit card is $2,000 at 25% interest. The car loan is $10,000 at 6% interest. The student loan is $20,000 at 4% interest. You must attack the credit card first, even though it's the smallest, because the interest is burning your money fastest. If you understand the first method, let's go to the second method, which is Snowball Method, aka smallest balance first. Here you pay off your debts starting with smallest balance, regardless of interest rate, while making minimum payments on the rest. How it works? The first thing you have to do is list all your debts by balance, smallest to largest. The second step, pay as much as you can toward smallest debt. The third step, once it's paid off, roll that payment into the next smallest. Keep going like a snowball, getting bigger and stronger. To understand this, let me give you an example. Let's say you have personal loan, credit card, and student loan. The first loan equals $500. The second one is credit card, which equals $2,000. The student loan, $20,000. Now here, you attack the $500 personal loan first. even if it has a low interest rate. If you ask me which one works better, both work. What matters is consistency. Once we clear the clutter, we can finally dream a little. So, what are your financial goals? Which takes us to part number 5 of this episode. Setting financial goals. Money without purpose is just paper. Here's a great exercise. Write down 3 goals. One short term, within a year. The second one is medium term, which is 5 to 10 years. The third one long-term goal, which takes probably 15 plus years. Then ask, what's the real reason behind each? For example, you want to buy a house. Why? Is it because you need stability or because you want to build a legacy? Whatever the case. You want to travel. Why? Is it because freedom? So based on that, you will answer these questions first so you can understand where you are going. When your goals have emotion, they become powerful. Now let's talk about the thing we hate but need to love, which is budgeting. Which takes us to part number 6 of this episode, creating a realistic budget. Budgeting gets a bad reputation, but it's not about restriction. It's about clarity. The easiest framework is the 50-30-20 rule. 50% for needs like rent, food, 30% for wants, for fun, for travel, and 20% for future, like for example, savings, debt. But the best budget is the one you actually use. I tried 5 budgeting apps before I realized spreadsheets work better for me. Or sometimes just pen and paper. Once you've got your spending in check, the next big question is, where should you put your savings? Which leads us to part number 7 of this episode, which is where to save. Don't let your savings sit in a 0.01% interest account. That's just losing money to inflation. Look for high-yield savings accounts, money market funds, or short-term CDs. If you don't understand short-term CDs, a short-term CD is a safe savings tool that banks offer. It's like making a deal with the bank, saying, I'll give you my money for a short period, like 3, 6, or 12 months, and you promise to give it back with a little extra. That little extra is called interest. Please note, you're not investing here. You're just parking your money in a safer, smarter place. And speaking of investing, let's talk about the scary one. Investing without the fear, which is part 8 of this episode. Investing is not about picking stocks. It's not about being rich. It's about building freedom slowly. The order matters. So the first thing you have to consider here, build an emergency fund. 3 up to 6 months of expenses. The second thing you need to do is pay off high interest debt. The third is to start investing and start small. For example, index funds or ETFs, automated portfolios. You don't need to be an expert, you just need to start. For example, if you invest $100 a month from age 25 with 8% return, you'll have over $250 by retirement. Imagine that. That's the power of compound growth. Before we wrap, there is one more question most of us wrestle with. Should I rent or should I buy? Which takes us to part 9 of this episode, rent or buy. There is no right answer, but here is what research says. Owning can build equity, but comes with big costs. Renting offers flexibility and sometimes even savings. So ask yourself this question, how long will I stay in one place? Do I have the savings for the hidden cost of owning? Don't just follow your dreams, follow your numbers. This episode wasn't about being an expert. I'm not one, to be honest. It's being curious and intentional. The truth is, Most of us were never taught about money, but now we can learn. You don't have to figure it all out today. Just take the next small step. Track your spending, write a goal, and open that high-yield savings account. Start tiny. The future isn't about how much you make. It's about how much you understand. Thank you so much for watching. If this episode helped, share it with someone who needs it. And don't forget to subscribe and like this video. Until next time, stay curious, stay kind, and stay on your path. Love and peace.